Virginia, for a trial run in the Atlantic. The designers expect the $70 million superliner will sail faster than any commercial vessel ever built. The United States, now under her own power for the first time, is to undergo 2 days of tests. She won't enter the Atlantic run until July. 990 feet from stem to stern, she weighs in at 52,000 tons, 30,000 less than the Queen Elizabeth.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the SS United States channel. We're talking about ships, like mostly the SS United States, but other ships too. And honestly, many topics by now. I'm probably going to change that intro of me saying where we talk about the SS United States, because by now we don't even do it. Like last video was going to be a video on the Titanic, and the video before that was like a video on the Android. So yeah, no, a video on every ship, a lot of ships, and then the Android. So it's more than just the SS United States. It's just the channel name. Biggest fan, has a little stuff. Yeah. But anyway, we got a quick video today. We got a widely discussed topic, and a topic that I don't know. It's a kind of a big topic thanks to Titanic. Mostly it involves Titanic. Anything involving Titanic is big for both the maritime history community and outside that community. But our topic is why ships didn't have enough lifeboats. Now, when I say this, ships like, for example, the Normandy have enough lifeboats. And Queen Mary actually was the first ship to have lifeboats that had motors on them. They're lifeboats that had their own propellers and stuff like that. What I mean is actual enough lifeboats. Now remember, and if you guys have not seen, if you guys are new to maritime history and just know Titanic but didn't know much about it or haven't even seen the James Cameron movie, Titanic was supposed to have 64 lifeboats to fit the entire capacity, but it only had 22. And this wasn't enough. It's actually it was supposed to have 16, but it was Alexander Carlisle, right, who persuaded William Peary to add more than just 16. Now, we're going to discuss why. Now, to go straight into it, the laws that really dictated what lifeboats were used by were signed in 1894. These were called the Maritime Trading Laws, or specifically the Merchant Act of 1894. Now, in this act, it was kind of a law for all ship companies and laws around the world in ship lines. We're talking like Germany, UK, and the United States. Now, what was in these laws basically said that any ship that was 10,000 tons had to carry a minimum, carry minimum of 16 lifeboats. No matter how the capacity of it, no matter the size of it, as long as it's 10,000 up, it had to have 16 lifeboats if it was 10,000 tons up. Now, why though? This is the main thing. Why though? The main reason why 10,000 tons is up is because at this time ships were still above 10,000. I think, for example, the biggest ship at that time was like the Titanic or the Majestic. That was like 25,000 tons, but it was over the capacity. But you see, these ships had it was still kind of rare to have ships over 10,000 tons. But where we get to Titanic, ships later on, 15 years later, you have ships like Titanic that were 80,000 tons, 60,000 tons, 50,000 tons, 5 times as much. Now, the reason why the minimum 16 lifeboats, no matter what size, as long as it's 10,000 up, is because, lifeboats weren't seen as they were today. Right? Lifeboats, thanks to disasters like Costa Concordia, lifeboats were seen as, today they're seen as safety tools. And in case of emergency, like the Costa Concordia, there would be adequate enough for every passenger on board. Every ship today, thanks to Titanic, has to have enough lifeboats. Now, back then, lifeboats were not used in the same manner. They were used for mostly ferrying ships from ship to ship. I think I discussed this actually in the Andrew Doria video. There's Andrew Doria right there. But where if a ship was sinking, another ship would come by and they would have their lifeboats, both their lifeboats, exchange passengers, where they would drop all the passengers onto the other ship. This was like this all the way till Titanic. And it, as crazy as it sounds, it did actually work. A ship that just had the same problem was a ship named the RMS Republic. Now, a lot of people like to say this is actually the White Star Line's first Titanic before the actual Titanic. This, or the Atlantic, was the first Titanic because of the fact that it was the severity of it and how it just sank. But the RMS Republic didn't have enough lifeboats. But thanks to its Marconi wireless, I forget his name, but he was I think it was Robert. I forget his name, but the Marconi wireless. The base thing is the Marconi wireless operator called for other ships like the Baltic and. On the top of my head, that's all I can think. The Baltic was definitely a ship that came. I think it was like the closest nearby in an extreme fog. And when they got there, the Republic was still there. It was like I think it was tilting, but it was still above water, so they were able to use their lifeboats to ferry lifeboats from each other. Now, this was a proof of concept. This actually worked. This showed how that the plan of the Merchant Act of 1894 did work. Now, and I'm pretty sure everyone knew that, like, eventually they would have to get updated because something eventually would happen that would force these laws to happen. That would later be the Titanic. Like, even, for example, like I said earlier, Titanic had, like, 6 more lifeboats than it needed. This is because people knew that these ships did not have enough lifeboats, nearly enough. No, I don't even think Titanic had enough for even half of the passengers. I think it was actually Thomas, not Thomas, Alexander, what's his name? I'm blanking on it, the designer of Titanic, Alexander Andrews, Mr. Andrews, I'm just going to say Andrews. Thomas Andrews, I said Thomas at the beginning, but I forgot his first name was Thomas. Thomas Andrews, he actually originally wanted Titanic to have 48 lifeboats, but because of the laws, they didn't have to. And not just him, Alexander Carlisle, I got Alexander and Thomas mixed up, which is why I confused them. But he also wanted to have enough lifeboats, more than enough. But William Peary and I don't think Bruce Ismay, he wasn't involved. He knew that it didn't have enough lifeboats, but he wasn't involved in how many lifeboats was on it. Now, in Titanic, the movie, it was actually discussed that there wasn't enough lifeboats because, for one, it was quote-unquote unsinkable, but as well as it would be a waste of deck space. Now, it's not fully proven. They probably would have said this to the public, but it's not fully proven that people would definitely say it's cluttered and a waste of space. But it technically, I guess, but it's never confirmed that this is one reason why they didn't have enough lifeboats. But after the Titanic eventually sank, fortunately, lifeboats were forced to have ships were forced to have enough lifeboats. Now, if Titanic, rather or not, if it had enough lifeboats, would it be able to save everyone, no matter if it had enough lifeboats? That's a topic for another video. If you want that video, be patient. I'm sure it's going to come around. Or just ask me in the community section. Or when the next live stream happens. The upcoming live stream at 150 subs. But, I think that's pretty much it. And, this law actually happened, like, a month before the Imperator, Albert Bollins, the beginning of the Albert Bollins trio, the Imperator, it's actually a little homage to the fact that the Imperator was top-heavy. He used to lean every single time. He used to be never on an even keel. But it had 5,000 passengers capacity, and it had 80 lifeboats. And thanks to that law, I'm sure if the Imperator came out before the Titanic sank, I'm 100% sure that the Imperator would not have had needed, not had put enough lifeboats on it by far. I think 83 lifeboats was the max it needed. That's a lot. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Simple video. Actually like almost 10 minutes long, which is actually impressive. But I hope that gives you guys paints a nice picture of the fact why there was not enough lifeboats on Titanic. Like I said, it's like what James Cameron said. It's not fully confirmed, but it's definitely a topic that's widely discussed. And there's not just my video. There's many. It's not like last video on that one passenger of the Lusitania. There's many videos that discuss this topic, but this is just one of them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe. We do not do a lot of videos, as much videos as we do on ships in. We do not do as many topics on ships in the Titanic era as much as we do the Queen Mary era, except for like last video and this video. So I hope you guys like the little change of pace. We're going to keep up with that, switching back and forth. Next video will definitely be interesting. I'm probably going to do the Great Eastern, very experimental ship. You guys will see. If you guys don't know, you'll see when it comes out, either next week or the week after. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you next time. Bye.